Hello EquesRAYans and welcome back to my channel. As you all know, it is now November and a lot of equestrians all around the world are taking part in No Stirrups November. This is a great way to get your seat, your balance, your stability in the saddle, but a lot of people might be unsure as to how you actually go about it and how to do it safely. So today I thought I'd give you all some hints and tips on how to do so. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, ring the notification bell so that you can be up to date with my latest uploads, and don't forget to hit the like button. So let's get into the video. So as I am nearly 7 months pregnant, Nick has kindly offered to demonstrate today, and we've got Peps here as well. Peps is quite sensible to ride, so if you've got a horse that's particularly fiery, it might not be a good idea to do no stirrups on them if you're not particularly confident, which is why Nick is more confident doing it on Peps than on Lily, isn't that right? You want to make sure that your horse is established in all three paces, so walk, trot and canter. Before you attempt this. This is because a horse that isn't entirely balanced might run or rush, or they might be unwilling to go forward and find a rhythm, which if you're unbalanced as a rider or not that experienced, that's going to make your life harder and it's going to make the horse's life harder and you'll struggle. So you're better off getting those paces established first. And the most important thing is you want to make sure that you can halt or stop or at least come back to walk if you're feeling unbalanced. So make sure that you've got those basic fundamental sides down before you attempt no stirrups. If you're riding a less experienced horse, it would be a good idea to do some sitting trot work with them before you try no stirrups. So keeping your stirrups there just for support, and especially making sure that you can get the sitting trot to canter and canter to sitting trot down with your stirrups. That way you've still got that security there in case you do get a bit unbalanced and a bit wobbly. I advise that you ride with a neck rope for this, or you can just get an old stirrup leather and tie that around their neck. This is just so you've got additional support so that you're not relying on your reins. And this is another good reason to do no stirrup work, is because it helps you become more independent through your core and through your seat, rather than relying on your hands or your stirrups for your balance. Particularly if you're a bit more nervous or a bit more unbalanced, this is a key part for this. So yeah, definitely have a neck rope. Okay, so we're going to start just by walking with stirrups to start with. So Nick is just demonstrating the walk here for us. And we're doing this just to make sure that Peps is listening. So if you stay on a top half circle up here for me, Nick, and when you reach me, just ask for a halt. We're going to check our brakes. So at the minute she looks nice and calm, which is good. That's it. Asking for halt when you're ready. Okay, so we've got some brakes. As to wait. Ooh, Okay, that's all right then. No, that's all right. I thought she was ignoring you. Right, do that again for me. So I'm going to just explain how you ask for a halt with Peps, just because this is how I've trained her. Just get her head up a bit for me. Give her a bit of a squeeze. That's it. So just slow the walk down. Sitting up nice and tall. Squeeze with your knees a little bit and with your reins and ask for a halt. Ooh. Ooh, good girl. That's it. And walk on when you're ready. She's been a bit fidgety, but we know that we've got the brakes there. Okay, so now we're going to move up to trot. So make sure you've got a nice active walk going. But we're going to do sitting trot because we have already warmed Peps up. So we're just doing the same again, Nick. Just practice that you can bring her back to walk when you ask her to. So going up into trot, but keeping in sitting trot. That's it. And just sit, relax everything. Good. And this is another important part of this, is just to remain really relaxed. Don't tense with your knees. Just sit, relax your whole body. That's good. Ask him for a walk when you're ready. Keep the activity in the walk, and then ask for a trot again. Good. Sitting up nice and tall in your saddle, using your neck rope as and when you need it. Come on to the long side a little bit. Try and just get a feel for a trot going forward now. Good. And I want you to do that all the way around and then come back onto your top half circle. She's like, oh, are we going to canter? Yeah, in a little bit. Try and relax your heels down nice and long for me. Keeping the trot. Give her a bit of a tap if she's ignoring your leg. Relax your hands forward so she can go forward. Good. Lovely. And walk when you're ready. All right, so we're going to remove your stirrups now. So just take your feet out of the stirrups and we're just going to cross them over her shoulders. Like that. Get the, do you want to do the other one? That's it, lovely. Okay, so before we actually set off, what I want you to do, because something I've noticed that you do is you sit a bit more on your crotch than on your bum. Yeah. So I want you to kind of pull your pelvis up and forward so you're sitting on your bum. Yeah, I know, you're going to feel it today. And then I want you to kind of, you can lift one leg up at a time, but just lift one leg up, out and down, and that's going to, it's going to pull your legs. Do the other one. Yeah, okay, so now you're really sitting in the saddle, yeah? And that's where we're going to keep you, hopefully. So, when you're ready, walking on. And I want you to focus on keeping your legs by the girth as well, because that's something else that you're working on. And remember, you've got your neck rope there for support if you need it. And while you're walking around, just do the same activities that I just said to you just there. So think about bringing your bum under you a little bit more. Stretching your legs down nice and long and low so you can bring them up, out and down. And that just opens your hips up. It's a good idea to do this because otherwise you really will be hurting. At least if you open your hips up to start with. And just do some activities as well with your ankles. So if you just swivel your ankles round, just to relax your ankles as well. So just think about doing little circles with your ankles. Keep that leg on the girth, it's coming back again. Drop your legs low, that's it. It's a bit harder on her because she is a barrel, so keeping them there will feel a bit odd, but think about using your calf muscles rather than your legs to kick her on, yeah? And just practice those halts again. Make sure she's still listening to you even though you've got no stirrups now. So nothing changes. You use your seat. Yeah, there's a little bit too much rein there. Walk her on. Walk on. Give her a little bit of a squeeze so she lifts her head up. She thinks she's done, that's why. Unfortunately, we've still got a bit more to go yet, Peps. So come back round onto the circle for me. That's it. Keeping your legs stretched nice and long and low. Relax everything. Roll your shoulders back for me as well, so that gets you into that position. Legs underneath you. They're coming forward again. This leg in particular should always be on the girth. Your other leg comes slightly back on the circles, just to guide her around the circle. To me, it looks like you're tensing with your knees a little bit. So just relax your legs down. Do your exercises one more time. Lift your legs up, out and round and down again. And that's where I want them to stay. So I don't want you to kick anymore. I just want you to think about squeezing with your calves as she's working. And move with your seat, so move in time with her. Get a feel for her movement. This is one of the beneficial things about doing no stirrups, is you get to feel your horse's movement more. So ask for a bit more of a energetic walk because we're going to do some trot in a minute. Keeping your shoulders back. Good, nice walk there. Funny how she gives you a better walk without stirrups, isn't it? That's lovely. And we're going to do a bit of sitting trot when you're ready. So it's important here not to tense with your upper leg. Yeah, because what happens there is it closes her shoulders, so she doesn't feel like she can go forward. So sit up nice and tall. Think about having your shoulders, your hips and your heels in the same place in a line. Bit of a kick now because she keeps she's pulling you down, which is no good. That's it. If you feel her pulling you, just give her a bit of a squeeze. Say, no, we're still working, Missy. That's it, good. And then when you're ready, just pick up trot and just have a little feel for the sit trot without stirrups. Keeping your leg underneath you and relaxing everything down. She'll trot nicely for you. She's not going to run off with you. Good. But keep the trot going. So you need to squeeze, but keeping your leg in that position, that's much better. Good. Doesn't matter if it's a lazy trot, just as long as you can get a nice feel for it. And you're sitting nicely there, that looks good. When you're ready, come back to walk. Now your leg stayed in a much better position there. Did you feel that? Good, well done. Good. Nothing changes, don't be tense, yeah? Keep your left leg against the girth, outside leg back, and turn your shoulders in towards me to come onto a circle. Yeah, you can go up at the top end, that's fine. So left leg on the girth, right leg slightly back. Good. Little wiggle wiggle with the left rein there so that she's looking to this side of the school. Doesn't matter how big your circle is or where you do it. I just want to see you bring her onto a bit of a circle there. Left leg on the girth rather than going back. Good. Just give her a little bit more rein, a touch more rein. Good. Use your neck rope. Remember, that's what it's there for. That's it. There we go. Lovely. Keeping that trot. Do that again for me. Good. Use your upper body position rather than the reins to turn her. Good. Good. Super. Inside leg. Good. And walk. How'd that feel? It really makes you work, doesn't it? So we'll take her onto the other rein because she probably is getting a little bit tired now. That's it. So right leg against the girth now. Outside leg is passive, so you don't do anything with your outside leg. Use your inside leg to push her over. Good. Do you feel how she moved away from your leg there? That shows how sensitive she actually is. And how if you nag her, she just dies to your leg because she's like, oh, don't like being nagged. She's a typical woman. She likes doing the nagging rather than being nagged. When you're ready, we're going to do the same again. So picking up trot. When you're ready, and remembering that your neck rope is there for support. So rather let her rein slip a little bit, because you know you can bring her back to walk using your seat. That's why it's important to have a horse that does listen to your seat and your legs. Good. Lovely. And coming onto the circle again, so right leg against the girth, left leg back slightly, turn your shoulders more. That's it. Oh, look at that. Look, you're getting bend now. Getting really fancy. That was really good. Come again. Do you see how much of a difference your upper body makes to the horse? keeping the trot. I'm really not bothered about this lazy trot at this stage, because I'd rather you were getting a feel for your position. Sit up really tall, same again, show me what you just did. More turning with the shoulder. Good. Well done. Don't grip with your knees, let your legs hang low. Everything should come from your core. How's that feeling? Good? Nick said she doesn't know she'll be able to walk later. That's the whole point. But your leg position is looking much better, yeah? Your leg is still coming back, but I think that's because you tense with your upper thigh. Yeah. Yeah. So just work on that mostly today. Just make yourself a bit more aware of what you're doing. And you've picked up on that, so you know that's something that you do. But if you notice it, fix it straight away. And soon it'll become like second nature. So just let your leg hang nice and long and low next to the girth again. Good. Okay, so we are going to work on the canter a little bit as well, because one of the things that Nicola says she struggles with is tipping forward. If you take her onto the other rein, just come across here. It doesn't matter where you change the rein really, because this is her easier leg to pick up. And this is where your upper body position is very important. And you will need a little bit more of activity in the trot, but this horse can walk to canter, so there's no excuse really. And she is trained that she should go on your outside leg. So get the trot going. And remember, you've got your neck rope there. So when you're ready, getting the trot going for me. And allow the trot to go forward now, so use the whole school. Good, that's a really good trot there. So I'm going to explain the canter transition to you. You want your left leg against the girth. Your right leg will go back, and I want your shoulders to turn in towards me as well, okay? So it's a little bit of putting things together. So keeping that trot, think about what I just said. Left leg is against the girth, right leg will be back. Shoulders turn towards me, don't tip forward. Sit nice and relaxed. Canter. Good. Good girl, well done. Keeping the canter. Super. That is lovely there. Keep the canter for me. Resting your leg nice and long and low. Good. Squeeze. That's it, that's all right. Woohoo, success. That was really well ridden. And you know why you got the transition? Because you were sitting up. Did that feel better? Yeah. No, that looked really good, well done. Yeah. And you can see how gripping with your knees causes a problem, because that tips you forward as well. Yeah. 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 The other thing that can help coming out of a canter into a sitting trot is actually to do rising trot. So I'm going to be really mean now. You've got to use your core. Nick's like, oh, for God's sake. So pick up trot. This is really mean now, because this will make her hurt tomorrow. Just think about doing your rising trot. That's it. Yep. That's it. Yep. Keeping your legs long and low. Good. 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 That'll really make your core muscles work. Okay, and have a break. Because you don't want to overdo it. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to be so sore that you can't ride the next day. But this just goes to show how you don't need your reins and you don't need your stirrups for balance. Everything should come from your core muscles and from your seat. We'll change the rein. Do you want to try a canter on the other rein? You can try. I mean, you went into that sitting trot after the canter fine, but for me, I found it easier to go into rising trot. So you guys can have a bit of a play about at that at home. I suppose it'll depend on your horse. I think if you've got a horse that's particularly bouncy, it's better to go into rising trot because they can be so bouncy that they just bounce you out the saddle. But Peps, luckily, she's so smooth in all paces. She's a really easy horse to do no stirrup work on. Yeah, that's it. If you're feeling unbalanced, she tends to come back before you even ask her if you're unbalanced. So that's same again, just picking up the trot. And she's looking to the outside here, so wiggle with that right rein, because we want her to be looking to the inside to get this right leg canter. And we want that nice active trot that we had before. Bring that right leg against the girth for me, that's it. So we're not tensing with those thighs, are we? No, that's what I like to hear. Nearly done, Peps. One more canter. Good girl. She's getting tired now. Good girl. Just ask for a bit more of a trot here, down the long side. So we're doing the opposite this time, which is right leg is against the girth, left leg is back, and I want your shoulders to come in towards me on this rein, so your right shoulder will be further back than your left. Bit more activity before you ask. Maybe ask in the top corner, tap, tap. Relax the reins a tiny bit, just a fraction, that's it. So you can allow her to go forward. Leg, leg. Right leg against the girth, left leg back, canter, tap, tap. Good, yes, perfect transition there, well done. Keeping the canter, relaxing the legs nice and long and low. Super. It's only because as you relaxed your legs, you weren't squeezing, so she just went back into trot. She may have even sensed that you were a little bit like, oh, yeah. But I think we'll leave it there. Do you feel... Nick's had enough. She's like, oh. Good girl, Peps. I think Peps has had enough as well. Oh, it's not bad riding. It was miles better, yeah. Okay, hang on. She's like, oh, can I have a mint, please? Good girl. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to ask Nick to take her stirrups back now. And what she should find is that they feel incredibly short.
I can't even lift my leg.
You see how short they feel?
Yeah, I know, Pips.
So if we were carrying on with the session, I would actually drop your stirrups down a hole or two now.
Yeah.
So that you could work on... I can see your legs shaking. Oh, you're a good girl. Yeah. Are you a good girl? What is it? Can you hear that? Can you guys hear her talking to me? Good girl. Okay, but we are going to leave it there because I think these two have had their workout for the day. So I hope this has been informative and helpful for you guys and you've enjoyed the tips. And best of luck with No Stirrups November. It really is such a great way to improve your riding and improve your relationship with your horse and get a feeling for your horse's way of going as well. So yeah, I wish you all a very successful No Stirrups November. Until next time, bye!